What's good, you guys? Other say from the Moment Network. Welcome back to another episode. We have a special guest, Oliver Cronin. How you doing today, bro?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being on, bro. And so you're fresh in this city. You know, it's coming from Australia. I love to learn more about you, bro. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Oliver. I'm 21. I grew up in a small town on the east coast of Australia.
Okay.
It's a big touristy town, but it's extremely small. It's like 30,000, 300,000. Don't quote me. I don't know how many people. But it's small. It's like a surf town. It's like not many people, but it's like millions of tourists every year. So it's a very like backpackers, like Airbnb sort of town. Not much going on unless you surf. I don't surf.
Do you surf? Oh, you know.
No. I like the beach. I go to the beach, but I don't
Right?
surf. I'm like 6'4", so I can't. I'm so uncoordinated.
I feel you. I've always wanted to surf. I'm like, nah. If I don't think it's not you.
Yeah, it
for
looks
me.
dope. It looks dope. I've snowboarded once, but I was so bad at that.
I feel you, man. So you just arrived in Toronto. I see you're just with like 12.
Yeah.
I went to the Blue Jays game.
Yeah.
You know, so how has been your experience so far? You said off the camera this was like your second time. So
Yeah.
how has been
Yeah.
your experience so far here?
Incredible. Toronto is a dope city, man. It's I find everyone really friendly. It's safe. It's clean.
Period.
Especially coming from LA, it's like, yeah, this is dope.
Right.
But yeah, it's good to link up with a couple of these people that I've been speaking to online and seeing these people out and about, and dope to link up.
I love that, man. And what I love, I listen to your music, and like what I love is just like you have like different sounds, you know. So I love to like different sounds of your music.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
to know tell us a little bit about your journey. How you got started.
Yeah, so my mom's a musician.
Okay.
She studied music all around the world. She studied music in Tanzania for years.
Wow.
And she was classically trained. So I was always like, I came from a musical background. Music always playing in the house. And when I was like, I have videos of me as like a toddler, can't even like talk, and I'm just like beatboxing. And I was always just being into music and rhythm, and I played guitar and drums when I was a child. And then I kind of like took a step away from music as I got into high school. I got into sports and other stuff.
Crazy.
And only when I was like kind of 14, 15, I was like just having like quite long bus rides to school, and I just lock in and listen to music.
Crazy.
And like back then it was like a lot of like Kendrick Lamar.
Good.
Like, I got Good Kid, Mad City tatted on me. That's like my favorite album of all time.
Wow.
Like Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, people like Lil Durk, people like, and you know what's crazy? Like it's crazy being here for music because the whole Toronto scene was like a massive influence on me too. Like the whole OVO
serious?
sound, EXO sound, like Drake, The Weeknd, like Nav,
Shout out to Drake, Weekend,
Roy,
nah.
Lewis, everyone. Like this whole scene is like really inspiring to me when I like coming up in the industry.
Wow.
And yeah, when I kind of got into high school, I was like, yeah, this music stuff's dope. Let me try it out. And
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. So your mom, I can definitely relate. So you say your mom's a really kind of big inspiration. I can definitely relate. You know, because for personally, like my mom, I do like this, it's film and everything.
Yeah,
and doing festivals, and my mom has.
she was like that?
It's the same thing,
Fire.
So I can definitely relate to that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And so you say you have a lot of inspirations like Kendrick, Drake.
Yeah.
Was there like, who you say like right now is like your top, like who inspires you to make your music right now? Like one person that you say out of all of
One
them.
person. It's a tough one. It changes, like especially because I make so much different music.
Right?
One person. This is you're gonna be surprised at this. I don't even know if you know him. Oh man, Mike Stott. Mike.
Okay, I haven't heard of him. What kind of like?
He is like, he blew up like in 2016. He was like at college, like baseball, like a really good baseball, and he just kind of made like college music, kind of like tried to sound like Drake, and everyone kind of hated him for it. But then he went on a hiatus and he came back, and I don't know, you gotta listen. He changed his name from Mike Stott to Mike Dot.
Okay.
And I don't know, you gotta listen.
Listen.
To him. He's super underground in like college.
Okay.
But the way, like, I just love the way music feels. I love the way his music makes me feel, and it's
I love
like
that.
that's why I try and make my music a feeling, so people can feel things in certain ways. And his music makes me feel away, and I love it.
man.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Mike, man.
Shout
Real
out to
quick. You know, like Al, check out your TikTok, bro. You have a really big following on TikTok, and what I realize is like a lot of musicians, you know, are blowing up through TikTok, such as like, you know, like Connor Price and stuff like that,
sir.
right? How has, you know, TikTok has, you know, like how have you taken advantage of TikTok to like promote your music? Is that like, you know, is that like a big event? Like, is TikTok like a big thing that you use to help promote your music and everything? Like,
I think these days, if you're not using TikTok, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
yeah.
You can get on crazy Spotify playlists, you can get crazy promo runs, press runs, but honestly, if you go viral on TikTok, that beats everything.
Wow.
Like that is like people on TikTok are tapped in.
You're right.
And
You're right.
people, I don't know. TikTok is and I neglected it when I started, and I was even talking to 12 about this yesterday, and he's like, when TikTok first started, I was like, no. I don't want to be a TikTok bandwagon. I was the same thing. I was like, I don't want to do this TikTok thing. Everyone's doing it. It's cringe musically, all this shit. And I'm like,
but it helps.
But it helps. And I was seeing artists blow up on it and like doing like things. I'm like, I can do this. I have the music. I can do this. So I'm like, I bit the bullet and I just posted every single day, and shit started to bubble. And I'm here in Canada, man.
That's it, right here. Come on, man. No, I love that. You know, it's okay. So you're obviously, you said before you're from Australia. So it's like, how has how has your Australian heritage shaped? You know, like I haven't seen like the shit music scene. So how is the music scene in Australia? Like,
it's bubbling, man. It's coming. It's coming. There's some incredibly talented people in Australia, and it's a bit behind. I think the scene is like. I know people say that, like, obviously, like, the US is, like, the place to be, and it's, like, that's where everything is. Yep. And then I've heard people say that Canada's a little bit behind the US. Yep. But then imagine 5 steps behind that is where Australia is. Okay. We have incredible talent and incredible, like, audience that loves music, but we're just behind with the infrastructure and the scene. But there is some incredibly talented people, and
you guys host some like big festivals, no?
We have some really dope festivals, and it's starting to become more and more a festival route for artists now. It used it was big artists didn't really come to Australia that much. Yep. And now it's becoming more. And look, thank Leroy for this big time, because he really did open a door for Australian artists. Everyone's like, okay, wait, this kid's from Australia.
Oh, I didn't even know Leroy's from Australia. Oh, wow.
Leroy's from Australia, and a lot of people saw that and was like, hang on a minute, there's some dope artists coming out of Australia. So people started to look in Australia, and people started coming to Australia, and the scene started like being influenced. Like, oh, this kid's from Australia, he's been able to do this. Wow. I can do this too. Same thing. So yeah, there's some dope shit going on.
Well, then, man, I guess it's kind of the same thing. Like, you know, like for you, it's Killer Roy. For us, it's like Drake. You know, that kind of paved the way and stuff like that.
100%.
Love that, man. And it's like, you know, you started obviously becoming like a permanent figure in Australia. You know, how does it feel to be able to now like impact like, you know, like the upcoming artists that look up to you? How do you feel about becoming that public figure for them and stuff like that?
Honestly, one of the main reasons I made music is for that. Like, I remember being super inspired by my idols growing up and being like, I want to make music because of this person. I want to make music like this person because of what they do. And I was always like, I want to be that person for the other people, for the public and for music fans and music makers. So it's a blessing.
That's dope, man. Definitely congratulations on that. I know how hard you must have worked to just get to this point. You know, obviously there's way more to come, but the fact that, you know, like you just have the impact already for the upcoming artists in your city, like that's super inspiring, bro. And like you perform at the pre and halftime show for NBL, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How was that? Like, I see that the crowd, there's a huge crowd. Like, how does it feel performing at how does it feel performing in such a big crowd like that? How important was that?
It was crazy, because that was like one of my first like ever shows too.
Crazy.
I'd done like a little like industry showcase like the week before, and that was kind of my second real show ever, and I got asked to do this final gig, and I was shitting myself when I got it. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Imagine.
But then I'm like, bro, this is like such an incredible opportunity.
Absolutely.
Like,
how can you not turn it down, right?
I've got to kill it. But honestly, like, it was way easier than the little industry 40 people showcase I did the week before, because like it was the biggest crowd they'd ever had at a basketball game in Australia. There was like 20,000 people there.
Wow.
But because there was so many people there, I couldn't see nobody. Like the lights were off, the cameras were up, and like I was just in my zone. And I had dancers around me.
Wow.
They like got their dance crew there, and bro, the dancers absolutely killed it. And it was like I felt a bit of like less pressure because if I maybe stuffed up, the dancers had my back and they were doing flips and all this crazy shit. But that was the moment where I'm like, okay, like I'm built for this. Like I'm like, when I came off the court at the end of it, I'm like, yo, this shit is fun. I want to just keep
going, big crowds.
It was a big moment. Man. It was great.
How do you because obviously you said it's a lot of pressure, what I'm trying to say, and so how did you just kind of prep yourself for that moment? You're in the change room, about to go on. I can only imagine your heart's racing a little bit. Like how did you prepare yourself? Just be ready.
We done a dress rehearsal like an hour before the game or 2 hours before the game, and that kind of settled so much of my nerves. Like I was nervous as hell for the dress rehearsal. I was going to the stadium, it was just with dancers, and I was like, my heart was racing. And then we did it like 3-4 times, and I was like, all right, all I have to do is this. Like I don't forget that there's a crowd there. Forget what's happening. Like I've performed in my bedroom to my mirror like 100,000 times. Like I know how to perform. Just forget about the crowd. Forget about them. But like just be in your zone and do what you do. And I just try and not overthink it. And I think I did all right.
No, period, bro. You killed that shit, man. And so beyond the NBL performance, what has been your most memorable moment in your music career so far?
Other than that was big. Other than that, honestly, being able to be here and be in LA and like this stuff I dreamed about when I first started making music. It's like I want to go to LA, man. I want to work with this person, and to be able to do that, like, I don't know, it inspires me. Like it inspires me. Like every time I go to LA, like even being there this time, like we're working on an album.
Seeing the palm trees,
like
the air is
so
different.
Inspiring, man. It's like I'm really out here doing what I dreamed about, and like. I'm proud of myself. Like, I'm like, no flex shit or anything.
Not flex.
No, of course.
It's what you're doing.
I'm like, this is motivating me to be like, okay, like I'm here and imagine what else I can achieve if I've gotten here. So
absolutely.
Yeah. But also like the another thing that I'm like super proud of and like best moment is like just like I love connecting with people, with fans, and getting people to like having people comment on my videos and message me and be like, yo, like you saved my life. You know, like I broke up with my girl. You made me so like happy and get through that shit. It's like that's why I make music. And it's like every time I get a message like that, it's like I don't care how many people listen to my music. I don't care how many streams, how much money I have. As long as I connect with people, that's all I care about.
That's dope, man. That's dope. And what's it called? So like going through, being able to travel, perform big crowds, obviously like I only assume sometimes it comes with challenges, right? And it's like, what challenges have you faced in your career, and how have you kind of like navigate through them? Any advice you have like for other artists, So
a big challenge that I faced kind of early or midway through, kind of from when I started to where I am now, is I had a kind of a big trouble finding out my identity and knowing who I was, and I was getting pulled in so many different directions by people I was around, and I kind of didn't know where I was and what music I wanted to make and who I was. And I think that's something that in any sort of creative space or any career, people go through things like that. And I had a big identity crisis. I'm like, I had to have time off and really work out and figure out who I am. No one really knows who they are until they die, in my opinion. But everyone's still trying to figure out who they are. But I really sat down and took time off away from music and was like, who am I? What do I want to be? What message do I want to portray?
Absolutely.
And I think in terms of advice, like to be able to just stay true to yourself and don't do something because someone else wants you to do something. Don't get pulled in this direction because someone's saying this. Don't let hate get to you. Just do you and be yourself and be true to yourself, and that's the most important thing, I think.
I love that, bro, because especially like our generation, it's not enough artists trying to find who they are and their sound. They just want to get 100%. Into it, sound like someone else.
When I was the same thing when I started. I was like, I want to sound like Tory Lanez. I was like, I want to sound like Tory Lanez. I want to sound like Lil Durk. I want to like, and then I realized like, no, I want to be myself. You know what I mean? And that took a while. It took a long time. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm in a better mental headspace than I was back then.
Right, I love that, man. And going to a different topic, you know, you released numerous amazing tracks, you know, such as "Boys Don't Cry," "Trapped in LA," "Idols," and "Memories." Is there any like song that holds a special place and in your heart, you know, that you've made, and why?
My favorite song that I've made is a song I released on my latest EP called "Hope You're Doing Well." It was kind of like, it kind of flew under the radar. Not many people know it, but it's a song about that I wrote to my future self. So it's something that I'm really excited to look back at that song in 5 years' time, be like, am I doing these things that I'm like manifesting? Am I doing well? Because cool, hope you're doing well. But that's a song that I'm really proud of, and
Love that, man. And you just released your latest single, like Speed Bumps, and it touches topics like of like the kind of depression, stress, and you know, hard times. Do you find it difficult as an artist to let yourself like be like vulnerable in your songs?
No, I think I'd actually find it difficult not to be vulnerable and not to be, you know, empathetic, and that's kind of why I make music. I want to make people feel things. I love music because it makes me feel type of way.
I love that.
So I think if I try to make a song that wasn't vulnerable and empathetic, it'd feel like I'm forcing it, and it wouldn't be me. And that's another thing. Like when I was working out who I am, I'm like, this is what I want to be. I want to make the music that I like feel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's who I am. I'm a vulnerable person. I think these days, like "Boys Don't Cry" is a song about that. Like it's there's a stigma around people being vulnerable, especially guys. And I'm like, you know, I want to be someone who's vulnerable. And people relate to vulnerability.
They do, man. You know, cause I myself, like I'm a very vulnerable guy. You know, we all go through things. People try to hide it, but like, no, we all go through things.
Facts.
You know,
Facts. Like, we all go through shit. It might be different shit, but we all go through shit.
Right? I love that, man. And it's like, you know, like what are like, you know, it's like so. So you see EPs out, singles out, and stuff like that. You know, what are your musical ambitions, you know, for the upcoming years for yourself?
I'm dropping an album.
Okay. Is there any dates yet, or like?
No dates yet.
Okay.
It's not finished yet, so we don't have a date yet. But that's always been a goal of mine, and I actually didn't expect to do it this soon. But I'm like, the time's right, and I like, really want to do it, and so I'm dropping an album hopefully at the end of this year. Honestly, I just want to continue making music and do what I love. Like I like obviously winning awards and getting all these streams and plaques would be amazing, but absolutely. I just want to hope I can make music for the rest of my life and have a happy family, and as long as I'm doing that, and everything else is a bonus.
And that's what happened, bro. I already see, like, talking to you right now, like, I can see just how, like how hungry you are. You know, it's like you're humbled, and you know, and your music's amazing. So you're about to go. It's only a matter of time, bro. Absolutely, bro.
Thank you.
You know, and it's like a couple more questions. You know, like what, like. So we talked, like, you can talk about the future, you know, like what direction do you envision your music headed to the future?
I don't know. That's why it's exciting, because I didn't expect me to be where I am. I mean, I manifested a lot, but I didn't know what my music was gonna sound like now when I first started making music. Like when I first started making music, I thought I was gonna be a rapper, and now I'm, you know, a pop artist. It's like completely different. But so I have no clue what's gonna happen in the next few years. But I know that I want to, at some stage, tap back into the hip hop side. I mean, I always feel like I always keep a little flavor in there.
Absolutely.
But you know, I want to be able to be someone who drops a lot of everything in terms of like sound and sonically. And man, look, if we're playing stadiums, then
what's your like? Do you have like a dream stadium you want to perform at?
Dream stadium. The MCG in Melbourne, the Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia.
Okay.
Is the biggest stadium in Australia. There's like 100,000 people there.
Crazy.
Ed Sheeran just performed there, and it was like the biggest show in Australian history.
Wow.
It was like 110,000 people there or some shit.
Wow.
And I was like, That'd be dope.
You're about to beat it.
I hope so, man. That was insane. Yeah.
I love that, man. And last thing, you have any any more like last advice? Any upcoming artists that are that are like upcoming, trying to get into music? What are some other advice? For someone that's trying to get into in the music industry.
Other than staying true to yourself, as I mentioned earlier, don't quit. Don't give up. And that's not even music. That's in life and in dreams and creative, whatever you're doing. Don't quit. If you have a dream, there's so many times I could have quit. There's so many times I wanted to quit, wanted to give up. But I'm like, no, I want to do this. Like, this is my dream. Like, I'm not where I want to be.
Sure.
But if you work hard and you never give up no matter what, you're gonna live your dreams. You're gonna fulfill them.
That's
as long as
man.
you,
That's it,
don't
man.
quit. Never quit.
Man, brother, appreciate you
I
on,
appreciate
guys.
you. Thank you very
Oliver
much.
Cronin, brother. Any last words you want to say? You want to shout out your social?
Single coming out, new song coming out soon. Next month, July, featuring my brother Lil Zell.
Okay.
That's exclusive, actually.
Okay, it's exclusive. Okay, on the MOM3NT Network. Come on.
Yeah, follow, listen, Oliver Cronin on all platforms. Yeah.
Man,
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you
Thank you
coming
for having
on.
me.
Absolutely, guys. As the MOM3NT Network, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. More videos to come. And yeah, man, I'm excited to see your journey, the rest of your journey, bro.
I appreciate it. Likewise,
Absolutely.
man. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go up.
Love, guys.
What's up? I'm Oliver Cronin. I'm here in downtown Toronto, and I'm on the MOM3NT Network.
What does Keen mean?
It's so crazy coming here and no one says things that I say. Keen is just like exciting.
Oh, we say Keen. You say Keen?
I've
never heard Keen.
I used that yesterday. You should teach you some Toronto slang.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
it? I know what.
Say-
I know.
say-
I know. Wait. I know Crody.
Crody.
What's good? Like say less. That's a ton of things.
Say less, yeah. Say less is just
Say
basic.
no-
But I mean,
say
that's
no
like we
more.
say that in Australia, but not like not
Heavy.
But like nice it.
Nice.
Nice.
Like, be quiet.
Nice.
Nice. So someone's like, someone's talking too much. Like, yo, nice it, bro.
Nice.
Like, shut up, be quiet.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Nice.
take that back to Australia.
Yeah. And then we say like last one, we say like cheese.
Cheese?
Yeah.
For what? Like you fucked up?
It's like yeah, there we go. Yeah. Cheese. Like
Okay.
something's happening. Oh, cheese, bro. Like
I get that.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.